yeah. So, I've had experience, and this podcast is, it's me and my son. But if the money was right, I would totally ditch him. And I'm fine with a one-man show. I mean, I have experience doing things on my own anyway. So
hey, Dad.
whatever. Oh, hi. Hey, I gotta go. Okay, bye.
Who are you talking to?
Nobody.
What?
Nobody.
Are you cheating on me with other podcasts?
No.
That was good. I like that.
Was that good? That was improv.
You were very much like Ben. He was like, I got this new idea for a podcast.
Ben.
Yeah. Manalowitz.
Ben Manalowitz.
Yep.
The star of our movie this week,
which is Vengeance. Dun, dun, dun. Hey guys, thanks for coming back. Episode 25.
25. It's
pretty good.
Is it our silver anniversary? What do you do with 25 years? I forgot.
I don't know. Have you gotten there yet?
Is that your Ruby? Yeah, we're way past that. Your mom.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're 30. You know how long we've been married?
That's true. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you've been married 4 years longer than I've been alive. So
we waited 4 years for you.
Right.
Yeah.
To each their own. We can cut that.
25.
So
we can cut what?
I said we
the
can
cold
cut
opening.
You talking about we waited 4 years to have you?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Episode 25. Yeah, I think it's something to be proud of. Yeah. I posted on social media during our 20th episode that I think it's a statistic I heard that 99% of podcasts don't make it to episode 20. Yeah. Like 99% of podcasts that exist.
I can see why.
So yeah. Crazy. Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
You're about to leave me for a more lucrative deal.
No, it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
And
I'm having a great time.
This will be my last episode. I'm just kidding.
He's like, I will be deceased after this one. I'm so exhausted. No, that's funny.
Just teasing. Teasing.
So episode 25, guys. Thank you for coming back. We're continuing our theme this month. This is the third out of the fourth movie that I've picked. We're doing our theme where I'm picking movies that I really like that Dad hasn't seen yet. We're copying that theme from February where he did the same to me. So he picked movies that I hadn't seen that he really likes. So we'll go back and watch those if you'd like. If you, like I said, today we're doing Vengeance, which is, came out in 2022. There's a lot of movies named Vengeance. So you gotta, this is the one from 2022, right? With BJ Novak.
I can guarantee a lot of people haven't heard of it.
Yeah.
But it is what we call a hidden gem.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I like better than a hidden gem. Movies that are not widely known, but are really great movies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is a great movie, but I mean, to you it is.
I love it. that offends me.
I didn't know.
Now I'm going to leave. No. Yeah. But if this is your first episode with us, welcome. I'd just like to say before we kind of officially start talking about this that we do talk about the whole plot and we spoil everything. So if you don't want to spoil this movie, stop here. Go and watch it and then come back.
Yep.
But we love to have you.
Yep.
If you're okay spoiling it, welcome. Hello.
Watch anyway.
Thanks for being here. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. You want to get into the film background of this one?
Sure.
I can start if you'd like me to.
Well, I've got it here if you want me to.
You go ahead and I'll fill in.
Since it's your movie, maybe I should pretend that I know more
about
it than I really do. But
you go ahead.
No, it was released in 2022, rated R, 94 minbut So
it's a quick guy.
Kind of like 12 Angry Men a few episodes ago. That was a 96-minute, I think.
Yep.
But this particular movie was BJ Novak's directorial debut. He also wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
He is, of course, known as Ryan from The Office.
Yep.
This movie premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival and did well, I believe.
Yep.
Let's see what else I want to say about it.
It was. You want to mention it was also produced by Blumhouse, just like Whiplash. So,
okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. So
what else you got to say about
what's
it?
interesting is we've got 2 movies on here. So Blumhouse, they've done. I'm sorry, probably saying that wrong. It's probably Blumhouse. I'm thinking, but it's BLUM House.
Yeah. Are you saying Blumhouse?
Yeah, Blumhouse. Yeah,
it's probably Blumhouse.
They've produced a lot of really famous like thriller and horror movies. And what's interesting about my list is I've got 2 films, probably the 2 films that they've produced that are not horror, which is Whiplash and Vengeance.
Interesting. Okay.
They might have done more. That's probably not super accurate.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah. Movie. I mean, when you see the title Vengeance, you think, oh, this is a Liam Neeson thriller. Or something.
Yeah, totally.
But instead, it's a existential crisis wrapped in a podcast pitch deck.
Put that on the headlines. That was great.
Podcast pitch deck.
It's like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Dark comedy. Yeah.
But
there's a lot of quirkiness about it, which is fun. Kind of, what you get from The Office.
Which lends itself to the writing and the writing from The Office.
Yep.
And also the cast. So I watched an interview with BJ Novak where he said that he really wanted a very eclectic, kind of all over the place kind of casting group of people, and that's what he did. I mean, you got himself from The Office, Boyd Holbrook, who's I think he's from oh my gosh, it's the motorcycle one, Sons of Anarchy. Pretty sure he's in that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
J. Smith Cameron, Leo Tipton, Dove Cameron, Issa Rae, Ashton Kutcher. I don't know where everybody's from. I feel bad. I know Dove Cameron's from Disney.
Yeah.
So it's like she came from that.
She has. She's on some kind of like a twin show.
Interesting.
Your little sister watched it.
Oh, okay. But and then I know Issa Rae is like a really like an actor's actor. I feel like she's in so much stuff. That's how BJ Novak described her. So I was like, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
I don't know much about her, but I didn't look in much. But and then Ashton Kutcher is in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think I already said that. But I think it's really cool that cast of people. It's a really well done cast, I would say, for casting.
Oh yeah, I think so.
The choices were great, I think, and they really fit their characters.
Yep.
But yeah,
definitely.
That's all I've got for background before fun facts. Do you have anything else?
I did hear that BJ Novak reportedly wrote the script after he traveled across the country doing stand up. Mm-hmm. And he noticed how different Americans perceive each other based on where they live, the media consumption.
Yeah.
So the movie intentionally critiques the whole media industrial complex, and true crime podcasts, and it intentionally critiques those things.
Totally.
Well, and really, I mean, it looks a little way out in the movie, but it's not too far from reality. Yeah. Really, what's going on?
No, I would say,
I think.
So, getting into my fun facts, this is more just like, just fact in general.
Yeah.
I've had people like who know that we're eventually going to be recording this movie and putting it out, and they're like, I love that. I'm from Texas. I love like his.
Yeah.
So BJ Novak researched Texas culture extensively. He took several road trips down there before writing the script.
Yeah.
And he, in a specific interview that I watched, he said that when they were writing The Office, Scranton, Pennsylvania, like the real Scranton, Pennsylvania, like celebrates The Office. They love that it's based there.
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Exactly. Yeah. So, and he wanted like, it's based in Abilene, West Texas. He wanted people from there to feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
He wanted them to feel like it was celebrated. He wanted them to feel like he really got this right. He really got our culture.
Yeah.
He really got this down.
Yeah.
So he wanted them to feel like they were being celebrated and stuff. And I think he did a pretty good job. I think it felt really realistic. I've never even been to Texas. People from Texas, let us know if it is realistic. If you don't think so, let us know. I've got more fun facts. Do you have anything else?
Go for it.
I'll just keep going.
I've got some. But
Chevelle Shepherd, who is the singer, it's probably one of the points that I always cry during this movie. She's the red-haired singer, and Ashton Kutcher, his Quentin Sellers, he's sitting there like, you scratch your your sound on the recording of the universe, like that. And she sings, and it's this beautiful song. It's like, I finished my shift at Claire's, like that. And I'm just like, oh, she's such a good singer.
Yeah.
But she won season 15 of The Voice at just 16 years old.
Wow.
Just super impressive.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And I want to also mention John Mayer's in this movie. Kind of funny. He kind of plays this like, sleazy, version of himself, which some people might be like, maybe that is him. I don't know. Right. BJ Novak commented on that, and he was like, it's kind of left vague whether we're playing a different person named John or if it is supposed to be John Mayer. We're just kind of like leaving it like that. But I already talked about how Blumhouse produced this, usually a thriller horror production company. But this is interesting to me. Billie Eilish, right? Do you know that her older brother, Phineas O'Connell, is her producer?
Oh, okay.
So he makes all the music for her and stuff. Yeah. He makes, but he actually composed the score to this movie.
Wow.
So that's kind of, and I thought the music to this movie is fantastic. It's pretty good. Really, one of the most memorable scenes is when Ben first walks into Abby's room, and she and he like, and that like little score plays while he's looking at all her stuff and everything, and it just hits you right here, and you're like, it's really good music, I think. But yeah, that's all I got. Okay. My fun facts. Okay. So first impressions, what'd you think?
First impressions. I thought the first 15 minutes felt very awkward, and I think it was on purpose. Okay. On purpose. Because Ben is insufferable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you hate him. He sucks.
And so you just kind of feel like you're sort of like, what do I like about this guy?
Am I rooting for this guy?
Nothing. Is he supposed to be somebody we care about? No, I don't care about him, know, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to. But that whole, we just talked about how when he drove across and kind of, like you said, he researched Texas and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like the satire of Brooklyn, the Brooklyn intellectualism that he's coming from, it's sharp, but it's almost too on the nose, I guess, early on with that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a reference. 100%.
100%.
In the beginning, they're like 100%.
100%.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that didn't work.
Sorry, I'm a little slow.
It's okay.
It was funny.
That's all right. 100%.
So then the whole Texas thing, I think, is intentionally stereotypical with the guns and the Whataburger and all the wide openness of everything. But all of that, I think, was intentional. And then as the movie goes on and deepens, the characters gain nuance, and really the satire becomes more self-awareness, I guess. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I would say so.
There's definitely a tonal shift, especially in that final act, which we'll get to. But I think overall takeaway from this movie, to me, it felt real uneven, but very ambitious.
Interesting.
And it's more of a thoughtful movie than you first think it's going to be.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
those are my first impressions. That was a lot of first impressions.
That was a lot of first impressions. That's okay. This is a big movie with a lot of stuff in it. Yeah. Like when you really get down to it. But I picked this because so this came out in 2022. I saw this in like early 2023 after it came out, like on streaming services.
Pretty
or something.
soon after it.
Yeah. And I was like, this came out last year? Why is no one talking about this?
Yeah, because it was really good.
It was like really good. Yeah, I hadn't heard anybody.
Did it have wide release in theaters, or was it just on streaming?
It was in theaters. Yeah, it came out in theaters.
Okay.
Yeah, it had wide release. Like it came out with I looked it up and I didn't write it down, but it was like it came out coinciding with like a DC comic movie, like a superhero movie or something, and it might have been overshadowed. Yeah. I remember that another really popular movie that came out that summer was Nope by Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
So that I was like, maybe it was kind of overshadowed a little bit, But I never heard anybody post about it. Nobody told me about this. I had a friend recommend it to me randomly, and he was the only person who ever told me about it. And I was like, where did this come from?
Why don't people know about this?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought it was great. I call it a hidden gem because I'm like, man, this should be way more popular than it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, this is so cool. Where do you get this? I don't understand. He's got a hidden database of really cool movie posters that I don't know where you find them. Anyway. Yeah. Do you want to get into the story? Yeah. The story and the themes and stuff.
Sure.
Okay. All right.
Are you going to start?
I don't want to talk about that. I'm leaving. No, that was a joke last podcast, that last episode. Cool. So I think the main like kind of obvious theme that kind of first jumps out at you is detachment.
Right.
I think Ben is like the main symbol of that at the beginning of the story, just disconnection. And then he runs into this family, the Shaws, who are the total opposite. They are his opposite.
Very connected.
Movie. Yeah, very connected, very emotionally grounded. Yeah, emotionally connected to each other. But he's seen as more. He's presented as more intellectual, as in he probably knows more things than them, but he lacks emotional honesty and the connectivity that they have to each other. And it's funny because in his intellectualism, he lacks the ability to see them for who they really are. Yeah. Honestly, he misses them in all of his intellectual, prowess. But therein kind of lies his initial idea to exploit them, because he uses them for content, because he lives in this state of detachment. He doesn't see them as people. He sees them as like this group of people. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, do you think there is something unique about Ben's detachment as this character? Like, is he, just crazy off the end, or do you think he's kind of like a version of how a lot of us live now?
What do you think about that? I don't think it's abnormal. I think it's okay. I think it's more than normal because, and I'm just telling you as a father, husband, teacher, going through life, it's very easy to get into a mode. And this must be true for people like him who, they're trying to constantly be on this treadmill of putting out content, and because he's a podcaster, right?
This constant treadmill of putting out content. No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, this.
Yeah. We need to mention the irony of us discussing this movie.
There's a lot of irony.
There's a lot of irony here, but yeah, continue.
But you easily get caught up in, I have to get ready for my teaching job. I come home, I have to mow the lawn. The kids need a bath. We got to get supper on the table. We have ball practice. We have this, we have that. It's very, very easy no matter what you're doing. And I'm just using that. That's what we got into, but it could be the same for a high power business executive. You get to where you just move to the next thing. You move to the next thing. You get to the next thing. Yeah. And okay, I'm going to get this done so I can get to the next thing. And pretty much detachment just happens. Yeah. And you get to where really you're looking for a point to be quiet in your own head, I guess. I don't know. Does that even make sense?
Unpack that. What does it mean? You're looking for a point to be quiet in your own head.
Because everything is you're going through and getting things done, and it becomes task oriented constantly, and you really never have time to just sit and be still, or you never make time for it. Yeah. And so I think if you're not careful, it's easy to get detached. Yeah. And to be almost numb. I think anybody. I've talked to my male friends about it. Yeah. Especially when your kids are little. You feel bad because you realize you're doing that. You're going through and you kind of
just getting things done.
Yeah, you're just getting things done, keeping people fed, keeping people clothes on their backs. Yeah, and it's just simple. And I think the same could be. I'm not a high-powered business executive, but surely they go from project to project to project. Yeah, trying to get to that next step. I really think everybody's trying to get to a certain point where maybe it'll maybe it'll stop. Maybe you'll be able to take things a little calmer. Maybe, and before you know it, your kids are growing up and, and all that. So it's something you have to be aware of, and you have to somehow find joy in even the mundane stuff because like I said, you could get detached pretty easily.
Yeah. So my next question was like, how do we stop ourselves from becoming disconnected or detached?
You just have to keep yourself in check, I think. Okay. You have to you have to do what I just did and be honest about it and say, this is what I feel myself. I feel that this is happening sometimes.
Yeah.
And hopefully you have a partner or a good friend or somebody who can help you with it and keep you grounded and talk to God about it, pray about it.
Totally.
So
cool. Yeah. I put like, I think it's really, I've heard parents talk about doing this for their kids and stuff, especially in the age of like having like phones and stuff and trying to manage, okay, we know this technology is bad for them, but for a lot of them, it's how they connect with people. Because a lot of kids these days, they'd rather, they text each other on their phones, or they'd rather like play video games together or something than, and part of that is there's not a lot of stuff for kids to do that's safe anymore, like outside of their house and everything.
Definitely.
So I've heard a lot of parents say like, you have to take it upon yourself to do the work of building connection points in your kids' lives. To
create it, yeah.
But I think that's true for everybody. Like you have to do the work to build those connection points and connect with people and come up and try to connect with them emotionally and be there for them and see them as people.
Agreed. And
I think the more you do that, the more you practice it, it's like we almost think that we have to be more connected to be able to do that, but it's like in practicing that is how you become more connected and stave off your your detachment. That's great.
Agreed.
But to that, I kind of mentioned Ben, because of his detachment, struggles to see the Shaws as individuals, as people with depth. He kind of just sees them as like I said, like a genre of people, like a group.
He doesn't take them really seriously. It's almost like, and being more transparent. Have you ever met somebody who you just feel like is so goofy? They're almost cartoonish to you, and you almost kind of.
I think I appear that way to many people. Maybe.
I don't think you do. But I mean, have you ever worked with somebody who maybe you think is a little airy in the head or something, and you sort of, it's not that you devalue them,
you write them off,
but you almost sort of don't think of them as being like somebody who has feelings. I mean, if we're being honest, we run into people like that all the time.
And I think it's just part of, that's why this movie exists, is because people are doing this to each other.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't think that you do this to other people, I think you need to look deeper. And if you go, I see everyone as an individual, I never do this. It's like, no, you do. Yeah. Like it's everyone objectifies other people in some way or another. It's going to happen. It's normal. It's normal and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But it is normal.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but I don't know. I just talked to, I wrote down some stuff about like, I loved the moment when Ben is talking to Paris about Chekhov's gun. Remember that? And it's Chekhov's gun's, the idea is when a narrative principle is introduced, like a gun, it must be featured or go off. So it's like, the Chekhov's gun of this podcast is, we have headphones here. When's Riley going to throw them across the room? It's not actually going to happen.
Right. I'm impressed that you know about Chekhov's gun.
Well, I was an English major, but like that. But that's the thing. So Paris responds and she goes, I've read all of his books and I can't remember any time like finding a gun in there. And she lists off all of his works, and then Ben goes, well, I haven't actually read his stuff. I'm just talking about the principle. And it's like, he totally misses it. So, and then another example of this is Quentin guesses that Ben is a playlist guy, where he has recommended playlists that he listens to, and I'm guilty of this. But he never actually listens to like an album. And Quentin says you're not falling in love. You're not living it. And so I think,
gosh, that's one of the most poignant things said in the whole movie, isn't it?
Yeah, by the villain, which we'll get to later. Yeah. That's so interesting to me.
Yep.
But that's, I wrote this down. Ben is flattening people into a story because it's much easier than meeting them as humans.
Oh yeah.
And it's, you know, he's seeing the narrative of these Texan Southern people, but he's not seeing, you know, Ty or Dove or, you know, I forget the mom's name. That's bad. But all of them. And, you know, so with that, you know, I just think that you were transparent and you were like, I do this. I think I do it as well with people. At what point, because I think it's still important to try to understand someone's culture and understand them as a group, right? You want to understand where they come from.
Yeah. But
at what point does that turn into reducing their individuality, like Ben's doing? You know, how do we like navigate that, I guess?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard. It's so easy to be a narcissist in this day and age, and to be totally up in your own stuff, and that's it. I don't know. Again, I think you need to have somebody that you confide in, or a therapist, or someone that you talk to about it. You have to somehow, if you know that it's a possibility, then you have to keep yourself in check somehow.
Okay.
You know, I would personally be praying about it and saying, you know, God, reveal that to me constantly. I need to be pouring into people, or I need to be, you know, acknowledging people, or, you know, and you really do have to look at how we were all created for a purpose. We were, you know, you got to know that even the people that were like, you know, we say we write off.
Yeah. They have just as complex and of an individuality that we do, as we do.
And there have been people, honestly, along the same lines that I have written off, or people that just drove me completely nuts. And I even I'm not proud of this, but I've worked with a couple folks that I just did not enjoy working with them. And so I was sarcastic and kind of almost picked on them in a way.
Sure.
I'm a terrible person.
Yeah.
And eventually I kept doing that, and I knew it was wrong, but eventually something about them endeared themselves to me, and I felt bad about how I had, you know, or I found out something, you know, walking to our cars at night or something, and I'm like, man, what a jerk I've been, or whatever. And they had no idea I was being a jerk, but I was just using like passive aggressiveness or whatever it was to cope with them.
Yeah, sure.
And then you figure, oh, they're a real person.
I understand.
And I'm not proud of that, but I think a lot of people do it because it's hard to work with people. It's hard to put up, especially if you work with a lot of people. It's hard to deal with different personalities and things. So you just like try to get by, and sometimes you really have to focus on the other. When you start doing it, get in the practice of paying attention to other people. I mean, I've noticed, especially lately, listening to, I think people who are older get this way, but you get to where you're starting to take care of yourself and worry about falling down and all the other stuff. I mean, I walk a little slower than I used to because I've, you know, broken bones and different things. But
I have to help him up the driveway when he gets here. No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, I think that it's very natural as you get older to get more and more concerned about your comfort and when you're going to eat and that kind of stuff, because I'm kind of getting there. And you are having conversations with people and you listen to what they're saying and you wait to tell something about yourself. And we really shouldn't be that way.
I do that.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
And we really should not be that way. When someone says something about something, and even if you're mildly interested, ask another question.
Yeah.
Or how's so-and-so? How's your daughter?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you just
it's about putting the work in.
Right. When you just talk at somebody, when you listen to them go, yeah. Well, I, you know, I mean, that's how we get detached.
Yeah, I agree.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
I think it's like this movie. I totally agree with you. I think this movie is cautioning us to think in terms of groups, because like you could very easily look at this movie and say, well, this is just like North versus South, or like red states and blue states or like whatever.
Oh, total red state, blue state.
Right.
You know, they intentionally shy away from political.
Totally.
Which I thought was very smart.
Yeah. For sure. Because I mean, it's not really about that. You know, they're trying to nod to it to where it's like you think it's going to be that. But the real thing is it's trying. I don't know. I think if you're someone watching this and you go like, you know, maybe you could be because you could start this from like Ben's perspective where you go like, yeah, these Southern people they're dumb. They're like or maybe you don't think that they're dumb, but you think that maybe like they're not as complex or whatever. Or you start from the Southern person side where you go like, this city guy doesn't get it. He doesn't. And then but then it's begging you to understand that everyone is much more complex than you think they are. And then that's what Ben misses about the Shaws is their complexity.
Right.
They may not have all the know-how that he has about certain things that he judges people by, but they have just as a hard of time like understanding people, relating to people as he does. They love people like he does. They feel anger and sadness just like he does. They have all this deep well of emotion and thought and everything that, you know, I'm just trying to say that they are just as complex as Ben is, and he doesn't see that. And I think that's kind of the point.
Right. I think because I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I think because of where he's at with his job and everything, I think that he's constantly criticizing stereotypes.
Yeah.
While at the same time embodying some of them.
Totally.
You know. He's living in that social media age.
He's super hypocritical the whole movie. That's why you kind of don't like him, is his unawareness of himself. Which is hilarious because he kind of makes fun of the Shaws for their unawareness of themselves when he's like
totally doing it.
Even worse, I would say.
I will say also with the, you know, they avoid political commentary, but they do a real good job of showing how the media exploits things.
Yeah.
And they also show how the media narrates things that shape perception.
Totally.
Because we really, whether we all like to talk about it or not, the media has really done a number on everybody's perception of things.
I would say so.
And something that you used to be able to trust somewhat.
Yeah.
And then some people would say, no, you go way back and it's always been corrupt.
Well, I would say from varying political perspectives, the media has conflated everything and made it so much harder to be informed.
Yep.
Really.
Yep. I agree.
But yeah. And I just wanted to say, like, I think the movie is trying to teach us to just look at people, and you can understand where people come from. You can look at their culture. I think that's good to try and understand.
Yeah.
But you can't forget the person in front of you.
Right.
That's so important, I think. Yeah. And you know, I used to have this phrase I would always say, like, I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to talk to the kind of people who look past me at a party. Like if you're at a party and you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're at a party and you're talking to someone, they're kind of like, yeah.
And they look around. Yeah. I'm just like, see ya.
Yeah. So but that's exactly, but it's like, you have to look inside yourself and go, okay, I do that too. And I how much do I do that to other people? How much I'm really doing it to the person who's looking past me. I'm instantly judging them for that one thing they did wrong. And I'm categorizing them to this type of person. Like, I just did it right now. And so, like, the movie's begging you to look past all that and to see this complex individual in front of you.
Yeah. True.
That's all that. I wanted to last kind of tidbit of themes. I wanted to talk about this movie, kind of this theme that I've titled "Searching for Meaning in the Age of Content," which is we needed to say that we're making content. We are content creators, essentially, and you know, Ben is a content creator, so there's that irony there. Yeah. But I wanted to kind of, I think it's really represented in the end of this movie, where Quentin Sellers kind of represents a world where everything is commentary and nothing is real. You know, if everyone gets a voice and if every event becomes content, then everything just dissolves into that noise. You know, when he says everything means everything, then nothing means anything. You know, and but Ben's act of, you know, murdering Quentin is really an act of rebellion against that worldview. you know, because I think the old Ben would have responded with a take to try and, you know, outwit him, to try and, you know, to put out the podcast, to try and expose him. And instead of trying to like analyze and kind of go through with that idea of vengeance, he decides to take a hint from the Shaws and just feel and experience vengeance on his own by just murdering him on the spot. And he chooses real actions and consequence. You know, he stops analyzing vengeance and he chooses to experience it. You know, he refuses to turn Abilene's death into content and deletes the podcast, you know, in this big, you know, final heroic act.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to say, and this is so ironic coming from content creators, but maybe it needs to come from more content creators. But I wanted to ask you what you thought about, in a world where everything does become content, everything's monetized, everything, you know, every hobby you have needs to be online. Every hobby you have needs to make money. So content, something. How do we protect meaning in our lives?
Well, I mean, it all boils down to connection again, like being connected to people and not being disconnected. And, you know, what is meaningful to you?
Yeah.
What's meaningful to other people?
Looking inside and understanding that.
Yeah. I think you have to connect with not only yourself and keep yourself in check, but you've got to connect with people. And, but yeah, you're right. I mean, it's overload as far as, everything's a show these days. You know, everything's online, everything's a video, everything's a short, TikTok, whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
Everything's a podcast.
Everything's a podcast.
Even when two guys just sit around and watch movies and
yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it's right here, you know, and we're you know,
and why are we doing it?
Yeah. Right. I wanted to say, like,
what's meaningful about what we're doing?
Okay. See, I wanted to answer that. That's a great question. I think what we're doing is meaningful because, just like we talked about with Whiplash, with the obsession and the love and things like that, is you and I love talking about movies with each other. Yep. And we wanted to invite people into that space. And when we pick these movies, it's not because we're trying to like pick the movie that we think will get the most viewers. We're not trying to pick the movie that will, you know, make the best content or whatever. We're picking movies that we want to do and that we like talking about. And that we think will be fun to watch and fun to look through and stuff. And so
I do want to make a lot of money off of this podcast eventually, but you know.
Yeah, we want to be filthy rich. No, but I think,
seriously.
but I think that's I think that's the point. Is like you know, and we're not. This is not like, you know. We would still do this if we weren't recording. We'd still hang out and talk about stuff.
We'd still talk about movies.
Yeah. Still talk about movies, still talk about stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but I just think, like, you know, it's not being afraid to just live your life without recording everything. Yeah. You know, like I do lots of other stuff besides this podcast.
You don't record.
You do lots of other stuff besides this podcast that you don't record. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's just, you know, you have to find meaning in and of itself, you know, without meaning separate from applause, meaning separate from attention, you know, meaning of, man, I just love doing this. Like you said, you talked about your actor friend who we know that's like, you know, I just love doing this. I'm going to do this the rest of my life, you know, no matter what, you know, just in community theater or whatever, even if that's all ever is, you know, I think you have to love it. And I think some people, you know, want to record stuff and make content and things like that just because they, like, you know, want to be famous. They want to be in front of the camera. They want to make money doing it. Not that there's anything wrong with wanting to make money or wanting to be famous.
Well, and let's face it. I mean, a lot of kids who say, I want to be a YouTube star. Yeah. You see people who have become these mega rich YouTube stars, and all they're doing is living their life and filming it. Yeah. And, you know,
vloggers.
Which soda do I like better today? You know, that kind of stuff. And you're like, I could do that, you know? So I'm still kind of amazed that goes on. So that's what
a new thing.
That's what people get caught up in. Like, wow, people are watching me and liking me. And I think that it's we're built for relationships. We want to have relationships with people. and watching other people live is somehow some kind of weird relational connection, like we have a relationship with those people that don't even know us when we were watching their everyday stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's why
parasocial relationships.
Yeah, I think that's why reality TV became such a big deal, because you just feel like you don't have time, you don't take time for relationships anymore, but I'm watching their real life and I feel like I can connect with them. You don't, but so anyway.
No, it's
real.
it's a sad reality. I think that I'm forgetting. I need to look at this character's name real quick. The mom, Miss Shaw. What's her?
Is her name Sharon?
Sharon. That's right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Her quote at the end of the movie. She says, "I've written it down here." She says, "It's all regrets. You run as fast as you can from the last regret, and of course you were just running straight into the next one. That's life. It's all regrets. That's what they should say. No other way to be alive. It's all regrets. Make them count." And to
make your regrets count.
Yeah. And well, to me, it's the classic graduation poem by Robert Frost that everybody reads, The Road Not Taken. And it's like what that poem is really about is understanding that it's okay to leave things behind, to not try and do everything all at once. And I think in terms of what this is saying, like the regrets and stuff like that, it's okay to not try and make everything, content monetized. There are people out there who just, really love to like sing or really love to play guitar or might really love to play video games. You don't need to be a streamer. You don't need to be a famous musician. You don't need to record anything. You can play guitar and never record anything and get really good at it and just love doing it. And that is just as meaningful as someone who wants to record and make albums and things like that. There's nothing inherently more valuable just because it's recorded.
And I think sometimes those people who just do it for the love of it, like I want to share this with you, they're the ones that people resonate with because people can see that in them. Oh, they love what they do, and their performing is so wonderful because it's so real, and then those people end up becoming famous, or making money off of it.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I just thought this movie was really good as a message like that. It's kind of this like rebellion against like content and monetization and stuff. Like it's man, when he says like some things still mean something, how you're like, that's right. That's because that is true.
And I kind of wonder if that pendulum's going to swing back that way. People are going to just get sick and tired of all of it. With AI and with all people. I hear a lot from kids today that they are sick of seeing their parents on their phones. They're sick of seeing their older siblings on their phones and stuff. And I really, I have a lot of hope in this younger generation that I think that they'll really do something about it. And that's not passing the buck. Well,
that's me saying we still need to work on this. Yeah. But also like I have a lot of hope for what they'll do in terms of change.
Well, because when you think about technology, like TV was a huge deal.
Yeah.
And somebody would get a TV and people would go to somebody's house, which was a good thing because it was relational.
Yeah.
But you'd watch that TV, or, people started getting TV trays so that they could eat in front of the TV. And it kind of got away from that eventually. I don't think people watch TV like they did when it was new.
Yeah.
And so having your phone, internet, it's relatively new.
Yeah.
I just think people eventually it's going to be the in thing to be, no phone zone or whatever,
I compare it to music in the 80s when they first discovered like
my era.
Your era.
What they discovered?
They first discovered Fire. No, they first discovered like Pro Tools. It was like the first thing where you could make. It's maybe called something else, but it's like where you can make music without any instruments. Without any real instruments. You could just use synths and sounds and things, which is still an instrument in its own way. But I feel like the 80s kind of went overboard. Yeah. People were way too
Every song
excited.
Had a clap track.
Everything was... It was... For some reason, people in the 80s with music were like, no, the future starts here. Like, it was like that. That's a Fred Armisen joke. I took that from him. That's... But that's how I think about.
I think you're not wrong.
But that's what I think about. Like, AI or maybe even like phones and social media and stuff is this stuff is still relatively new. It's largely unregulated. I think that will kind of die down from it and be like, hey, this stuff isn't good for us and we should stop doing this.
I don't know. I remain optimistic about all of it because,
Me too. Yeah.
We have so many people, especially people my age, we're all pushing 60 and it's like, oh my gosh, life is as we know it is over, and everything's looking back through rose-colored glasses at how wonderful it was to grow up in the 70s and 80s. And heck, we had lots of problems. But anyway, it just I still remain optimistic about it. I'm not gloom and doom about it because I think somebody's going to wise up. Somebody's going to lead the charge and say, we're rotting our brains, or maybe we're not rotting our brains, but we got to do something. And
I literally, so I hear reports about that makes you sound crazy. I've read stuff about like teachers or college professors working with their students to be like, how can I grade you guys without knowing that you aren't just putting something into ChatGPT? And students are overwhelmingly sick of ChatGPT. They know what doesn't help them actually learn stuff. I'm talking about college students, people who are in their early 20s and late teens, really. And they've, a lot of schools are doing a thing where, stuff like that needs to change. It was like when the calculator came, that you had to change how math worked and how you graded math. And I think with this, a lot of students, what they're doing is they're doing handwritten essays in class, or like they're typing essays in class and stuff, which is awesome. Like, and I think a lot of, I don't know, I could be totally wrong. I haven't looked a lot into it, but from what I was reading, like students are pretty supportive of this idea. They also see how like AI and things like that is really damaging to their own learning because they're not actually putting in the work to turn those gears in their brain, So
cursive handwriting's coming back, maybe cursive.
That'd be cool.
It's so good for your brain, folks. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Cursive. Cool. All right. On that note, that's all I got for story and themes. Did you want to talk about anything else?
What else is there?
We've been talking for a while.
We have. No,
if you directed it, was going to be my next thing. But
I had that a minute ago. Yeah, if I directed it. The movie is just so heavy. I'm just wondering if I might have streamlined the thematic overload.
Okay, sure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I would like to explore maybe how focusing a little more tightly on the murder mystery itself.
Yeah.
Or maybe the cultural satire or something. There's just a lot of stuff going on in this movie.
Yeah.
It's still good, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe like Sharon's role. I don't know. I might have expanded it a little bit, maybe to get a little more emotional grounding. Because I don't know. I felt like I wanted a little more from the family.
She was, especially Sharon. She was awesome.
I wanted a little more because the whole thing with him not looking at them as individuals, and I don't know. I think it would have helped a little bit with.
Like they probably needed to be explored more.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
To that, the thing I would change is I don't think there's. I think Ben, the character, needs more consequences for his shift in character.
Well,
because I think you could still say, well, he comes out of it like a little scot-free. Like he kind of like it still seems like he sees these people as, a group of people that were kind of he used to change himself. He's like, because of them, I'm a changed person. And it's a little.
I definitely think he remained a people user throughout the whole show.
Yeah, and until the very end.
Yeah,
but it's still like he kind of uses them to change. He still objectifies them in that way.
Yeah,
as his object of change.
Yeah.
And I'd think if you had a scene showing like his career fallout, or maybe giving back to that community somehow, or like working maybe some more scenes where he understands them more and connects with them more emotionally.
True.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
But that would have made the ending feel more earned.
Maybe.
I think it's a little too like just kind of I've changed now, But anyway, regardless, still loved it. But we go to the acting and the cast and everything. Stuff like that.
We got to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, since most of them to me are not widely known, I'm just going to go ahead and say it.
Okay.
My papers are getting cursed here.
Hmm.
I have never really been a BJ Novak fan.
Yeah?
When we watched The Office, I was like, what's he doing here? I just...
He was one of the writers?
yeah, I know, but I'm sorry.
No, so
I'm sorry, BJ.
No.
I've just never been a big... but that does not mean that I don't think he does a good job.
Yeah.
He did a great job playing against likability.
Yep.
He has that very controlled NPR, 100%
Yeah.
tone
Yeah,
delivery.
Yeah.
And, he has that because it totally masks his insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
I think his performance improves as his character lets his hair down a little bit.
Interesting.
As
Okay.
he unravels a little
Yeah.
bit. I like Boyd Holbrook. I also like that these were not well known.
Yes.
I liked Ty.
They weren't like superstars.
Yeah, right.
Maybe Ashton Kutcher.
Exactly.
But,
yeah. I liked how grounded he was. I liked his sincerity.
I did want to say Ashton Kutcher. Actually, let's wait on that. I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait till you get to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
J. Smith Cameron is Sharon. Again, she was the emotional anchor. I would like to have seen more from her.
Yeah.
Very powerful, but understated. And you talk about that final scene when she talks. That really elevated the film to me.
Yeah.
I always like Ashton Kutcher. He's my scene stealer.
Yeah.
He's just magnetic.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna say that BJ Novak said in an interview that he picked him because he's known for kind of like these like dumber roles where he kind of plays like a jock or like an idiot or whatever. And he always said like Ashton Kutcher is one of the most brilliant people I know.
He's just got that whole like his face, like he just zero, pulls you in.
I know what you mean.
His whole acting style is kind of hypnotic. I'm not saying, like he just is so focused.
Yeah.
And in this sense, his politeness from the get-go is very unsettling.
Yeah.
From the
I get
very
what you mean.
beginning.
Yeah, it's a little.
You just do not. You think he's not for real here. Something's wrong. Yeah. He just his performance was transformative, and really, critics said some good things about him, and they were a little surprised with his performance, how good it was. And I feel like that's probably because he did all those dumb roles, and everything.
Well, it's like that's not him. Obviously, he's an actor.
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah. I thought Eloise, the Issa Rae, effortlessly sharp. Credibility. She had subtle humor. It's a very thinly written part, but she did it. She did what she could with it, I think.
Yeah.
And then the girls, Dove Cameron, Isabella Amara, they're introduced as archetypes, but gradually you see layers of those characters.
Totally.
They did a good job there.
Yeah.
Dove Cameron being the big Disney star that she is, she especially subverts expectations for me in the movie because I don't know what it is if we have prejudices against Disney stars.
Well,
but,
she just she embodies this like kind of like teenager.
Yeah.
Very well.
Uh-huh.
And then Paris does. She's kind of like the older sister. She's a little more mature.
Yeah.
And they do such a good job with that.
And maybe I should give BJ Novak more respect because I would say that these actors are good largely because of the writing. So
no, he's
I'm real sorry. I hope I don't offend you, BJ. I know you watch this.
Yeah, everybody watches this.
Yeah.
No, he's obviously like he was a director and the writer, and helped produce it, and it's like, man, that's so much. So when if you're like, maybe he was a little lackluster in acting, it's like still a powerhouse.
I don't know. It's maybe I wish I could say. I wish I could say that I'm on board, but
no, you're good. That's your take. That's all right.
Can't like everything and everybody all the time.
Do you want to go to the scene stealer?
Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Every monologue scene.
Yeah.
Everything he does shifts the energy of the film, I think.
Yeah.
And that's talent.
Yeah. I just, for me, it's the ending. It's when he says everything means everything, and then nothing means anything. And then BJ's like, something still means something.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about that when I walk away from this movie. And because there was such like a weight and power to that moment because of all the things that Quentin Sellers is saying throughout the movie. Mm-hmm. He's all this stuff that brings so much like clarity to like Ben's understanding of that area and those people. And it's like then he finds out he's the villain, and it's almost like this twist of like this guy who's speaking a lot of truth is hurting these people. And it's like, wow, that's you know, he almost becomes like Quentin Sellers is essentially like if Ben decided to settle down there and never changed and just like kept being the way he was, just using people for content. And that would be that would be him.
True.
And so Ben kind of, you know, stops that. But anyway, that was my scene stealer. Just the ending where I love like how he misses him at first. Yeah. Because he doesn't shoot guns. And then he, you know, but then he hits him like right on the spot, and you're like, that's a little far-fetched, but you know, anyway.
Well, and I also and I don't even have her name written down, but I liked Grandma. I always liked the
she was great.
I always liked the cantankerous old lady coming and, you know,
she was like, I think that'd be a little much. She's like, you're gonna need a 12 gauge 45 like, and she goes through all the guns. That's awesome.
I don't know, I just always like the old person, and, you know,
you love it's 84 at Charing Cross Road. You love like when like an older woman doesn't mess around. You love that. That's your it's your thing.
Anne Bancroft.
There you go. Yep. What's your casting swap?
Well, I thought about Adam Driver as Ben.
Interesting.
He could have played a little bit Ben guy with a darker tone, but then I started thinking maybe he's too tall because he couldn't have played. I don't think it would have looked right, him and Ashton Kutcher together. But
because Adam Driver's too like manly. You know what I mean? Like BJ Novak's kind of like small, and he's not very imposing. Adam Driver's a little imposing. You know? Yeah,
true. So. I mean, they could have pulled it off, but but then I thought, well, if you had him, and could you have maybe had a different Quentin Sellers? Then I thought about Matthew McConaughey because he's such a all right. You know.
That works.
His Ashton Kutcher's restraint and all that politeness made him really creepy.
Yeah.
I think that if Matthew McConaughey had played it, he probably would have played up the Texas mysticism a little bit more, maybe, or something. I don't know. I just was thinking of those two.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
But really, the little... Sorry, BJ. The little twerpiness of BJ Novak.
He played his role well.
And the little twerpiness of him against Ashton Kutcher made that work. So totally. I probably wouldn't mess with that at all.
Yeah.
But I like the chemistry. I like the chemistry with Ben and a lot of the characters. All of them, really. So
totally.
Anyway.
Yeah. I also picked one for Ben's character.
Yeah.
I put like, you know, I just
Viola Davis in there.
Yeah, Viola Davis. I'm gonna pick Viola Davis for every single one. She's awesome. She can do it.
At least I didn't say Gregory Peck.
That's there you go. I think I thought he was okay. I guess Ben. I thought he was pretty good. The casting in this movie is awesome. I thought of maybe like, what if like Donald Glover played like a Ben role, you know? Because like, you know Donald Glover, right? From he's like the creator of Atlanta, that TV show, which I still haven't watched all of it, but he's in Community. That was kind of his first
that's
role.
Who I thought you were talking about. Okay,
yeah, that's kind of like his first role. But he's branched out so much since then. But I just thought he would have done the same thing where he can kind of be like this nerdy kind of like postured tech guy, but then also who I think it would just, I don't know, he's just a really good actor. And I'm just like, I think BJ Novak's strengths are in creating and writing and directing. I think he's a good actor. I'm just saying that Donald Glover's like, I think he would have done a masterful job of handling that character. Yeah. But he's still kind of got that like shorter, like non-threatening,
non-imposing
kind of, you know, like figured. So I don't know.
Okay.
I just saw that. And I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
Closing questions. Double feature.
Yeah. Let me see. Pen, paper, see. It's different when I don't have my laptop here. Believe it or not, I put down No Country for Old Men again.
Wow.
I put that down a lot.
Lame. No, I'm kidding.
Lame. Yeah. There's a movie called Irresistible.
Okay.
I don't even have the year written down, but it has a lot of political satire in it. I think that's it for me. There are a couple more that I'm not super. I don't know.
I thought a lot about this one.
Okay.
I feel like I got a pretty interesting pick. Double feature, by the way. If it's your first time, we pick a movie that pairs well with this one. Like if you're watching two at the same time. I picked. Have you seen the documentary Harlan County, USA? It's from 1976.
Really, 76. Whoa!
I just watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Harlan County, USA.
Harlan County, USA.
Okay.
It's a. I'm gonna read. I copy and paste from Wikipedia the description because I thought it was really good. But it's a documentary covering the Brookside strike. It's a 1973 effort of 180 coal miners and their wives against the Duke Power Company owned Eastover Coal Company's Brookside mine in Harlan County. It's a southeast Kentucky.
Okay.
So
Kentucky.
it's very to me it's gritty. And you're also like it's centered around Southern people as content, not Texans, but Kentucky. I feel like it's adjacent Southern culture, but I think I think it's great. A lot of people might have maybe a different opinion, but I think it's great without crossing over into exploitation. Because the creator of the documentary, Barbara Koppel, she lived alongside them for a year and worked with the people she was filming to make the movie. And
a lady in 1976. That's a documentary.
If you have not seen Harlan County, USA, powerful film, very gritty
good
documentary.
For her. Yeah,
super good. It is, to me. It's it won awards and stuff and everything. But I thought it was a great way of giving voice to the voiceless. I think she does the opposite of what BJ Novak does in this movie, is what I'm saying. So it's kind of like it's hey, if you want to see how content creation can be ethical and doing it without exploiting people, she did a great job of exempling this thing called immersive solidarity filmmaking. Where the people being filmed are not objects for content, but they're subjects who control their narrative by working with the filmmaker. So she kind of saw them as like part of the team of like making it. So very cool. I highly recommend it. I think it's on HBO Max right now. Yeah. But Harlan County, USA, look it up. Very good.
Watch it.
I saw it online and I was like, that seems really cool. I'm gonna watch it. So
Okay.
Yeah. Final
Good
takeaway. Go to Texas. No. I think the final takeaway is other people are living just as complex and interesting lives as you are, or even more complex and interesting than you are. Probably more likely. Yeah. And some things still mean something. Yeah. That's what I put.
Yeah. I thought it was an ambitious film. A little uneven in parts. Really tries hard to dissect America's cultural divide. Yeah. Through satire, which is always a nice way to do it. And then of course the mystery. I feel like part of it, the movie stumbles, but it really is trying to say something to us and our culture. It's trying to say something real to us in the midst of all the unreal, I guess, is what great. So
how would you recommend this and how would you rate it?
I would recommend it as to people that I know who like satirical stuff, dramas. I would recommend it for the characters. Yeah. Anybody, if you get in a conversation with somebody about media criticism, it would be something I'd recommend. Cool. And of course, I get into the mode where I like a lot of the indie films with a lot to think about, and this is definitely one of those too. But it's not if somebody wants a thriller, it's not a straightforward thriller. No, I wouldn't recommend it to them. Right. And I would probably rate this one because I'm not sorry, dude, but I'd probably give it a 7. Okay. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I said these are all like favorites of mine, so I can't honestly rate them.
I liked it, and I think that Ashton Kutcher's performance was the standout for me. Yeah. And I think that overall the story was a pretty good story. Cool. So that I gave it a 7.
Good deal. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much.
We are almost done with my favorites that Dad hasn't seen yet. That's our film theme for this month. Next week we are doing, and I'm gonna say this, and no one judge me for this. This is my favorite movie that we're doing next week. It's About Time.
Oh, boy.
And that's the name of the film. It's not. I wasn't saying it's about time we watched this. It's the name of the film is About Time from 2013. Loved it. I think I've seen this probably 10 times now. It's so good. Watch it for next week. That's what we'll be covering in next week's episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, share this down below, down here. We appreciate that. Leave a comment if you want to say something mean. No, I'm kidding. If you wanna like, give us some give us some facts we missed. Tell us what we missed. Tell us about movies we should talk about. Tell us what you think, we should watch.
Yeah.
And I forgot to mention this in the past few episodes. We have an email, and it's just one word, movienightswithdad@gmail.com. You can email that if you want to give some recommendations or just
have to type it in once and then
just
it's
talk to
saved
us.
in your email.
There you go.
It's a lot to type in.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you, son.
Love you.
I love you too. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.